Dear students, I hope you are all well and studying at your home and enjoying your online classes. Today we will discuss about the atomic structure and chemical bonding, which is chapter 4 of your course book. So, in this chapter in your syllabus, you have to read about the structure of atom, mass number and atomic number, isotope and octet rule. In lower classes, 7 8, you already read about the structure of atom and mass number, atomic number. Besides atomic structure, in this chapter you have also given some exposure of chemical bonding, in which you have to discuss or read about the different type of bonds as electrovalent bond, its definition and structure and formation of electrovalent compounds and covalent bond. Okay, so this is your syllabus and we start the chapter now. After this, I also share a video in which by animation you can understand well. So, Mercy Kanad, an ancient Indian philosopher, proposed the term Parmanu, reported in the Vedas, as its smallest particle of matter which cannot be further divided. Okay, so this atom in Hindi he gives the term Parmanu for that and gave the term that the particle matter which cannot be divided further. Atom is a Greek word which means indivisible and was used by Greek philosopher to describe the ultimate particles of matter. Several Western philosophers like Plato, Aristotle, uh, Lucretius, Democritus, etc., believed that matter is composed of extremely small and indivisible particles. Okay, you have to read this term particularly because this is related to the theories of atomic structure. So, individual particle called atoms. So, in the previous time or historic time, these terms are related. Today, you have to read about the Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, keeping in view the laws of chemical combination and work of Greek philosopher, a magnificent atomic theory was finally proposed by an English school teacher, John Dalton, in 1803 to between 1803 to 1807. The best postulates of Dalton's theory are as follows. So, some postulates of this theory is each element is composed of extremely small particles called atoms. All atoms of a given element are identical. That is, atoms of a particular element are all alike but differs from atoms of other elements. Atoms of different elements possess different properties including atomic masses. Atoms are indestructible. That is, atoms are neither created nor destroyed in chemical reaction. This is the main postulation of his theory. Atoms of elements take part to form molecules, that is, compounds are formed when more than one atom or one more than one elements combine. In a given compound, the relative number and kind of atoms are constant. So this is the all about Dalton's atomic theory. So as we know that there are some merits and some demerits of every theory, because if any theory is perfectly stated, it becomes a law. So is a first we talk about the merits of Dalton theory. Dalton theory provides us conceptual picture of matter. Atoms are the best basis building blocks of matter. They are the smallest unit of an element that can combine with other elements in a chemical reaction. In compounds, the atom of two or more elements combine in defining arrangement, in definite arrangement. And Dalton's theory embodies several simple laws of chemical combination that were known at that time. Dalton's theory indicates for the law of conservation of mass. Okay, it can be asked in exam also. Dalton's theory indicates for the law of definite proportion. Dalton's theory also explain the law of multiple proportions. It also explains that what makes an element to differ from others. Okay, how one element is differ from other element. We can conclude from that theory. And there are some limitations of this theory. First is distinction between atoms and molecules. According to Dalton, the smallest particle of an element as well as of compound was atom. Dalton called compound atoms to the smallest particle of compound. Later on, Amedeo Avogadro used the term molecule for the compound atom. That is, molecule is the smallest particle of compound. Okay, that was declared by this Avogadro. So Avogadro conclude that the smallest particle for compound and element are not the same. Okay, for compound it is a molecule, and for an element it is atom. It could not justify Berzelius' hypothesis. Berzelius, a Swedish chemist, proposed that under similar condition of temperature and pressure, equal volume of gases contain equal number of atoms. The inability of Dalton's theory to justify Berzelius' hypothesis can be described as. So you can understand by this example that consider one volume of hydrogen combined with half volume of oxygen to produce one volume of water vapors. Let one volume contain n atoms, then according to Berzelius' hypothesis, S2 plus half O2, that is 1 S2O. Before reaction, one volume of hydrogen and half volume of this O2, as you see, is equal to 0. Okay, or after reaction this will become 0, this will become 0, and one molecule of S2O will be formed. So thus one molecule of water is formed by the combination of one atom of hydrogen and half atom of oxygen. In other words, compound atom of oxygen gas breaks down during chemical change, which is against Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, as Dalton said that could not explain why do atoms combine to form a molecule. It could not explain the nature of forces which hold the atoms and molecules in solid, liquid, and gaseous states. It could not explain the Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume. Okay, it could not explain that why should atoms of an element differ in their masses. So there are some limitations of Dalton's atomic theory also. In present time, now what are the aspects of Dalton's atomic theory? It means in present time how we can consider this Dalton's atomic theory. First is atom is no longer to be considered indivisible because discovery of cathode rays, canal rays experiment reveal the atoms contains electron, proton and neutrons and maybe other subatomic particles. So till now electron, proton and neutrons are get by the divided by the atoms, or you can say it can be divisible. Atoms can be divisible. Atoms of the same element may not have the same atomic mass. Okay, because you can say that now the term isotopes is comes, and atoms of different element may have similar masses. Okay, isobars. So according to Dalton's theory, it said the same atomic mass about same uh, atomic number, but it was not correct. The ratio in which atoms of different elements combine may not be simple. In C12H22 only one, that is sugar, the combination of the ratio of combination of CHO atoms is 12:22:11, which is not simple. And atoms of one element can be converted into atoms of other elements. Atoms of one element can be converted into atoms of other elements by nuclear reactions. Although atoms are indestructible chemical reactions, but in nuclear reaction, atoms of one element can change into atoms of other elements. So now we can change one element to another atoms of element. Okay. So structure of an atom, mass number and atomic number, isotope and octet role we will discuss in the next class, or I can share with you a video between this. Okay, till then you can read this 4.2 exercise And cathode ray and discovery of electron you already read about in the uh, lower classes. If you have any confusion, you can ask to me. Okay, so see the video now.
Dalton's atomic theory. Objective: to learn about Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory was proposed by John Dalton, an English chemist, meteorologist, and physicist in the 1800s. According to Dalton's atomic theory, all elements are composed of tiny particles called atoms. Atoms of an element cannot be created, destroyed, broken into smaller parts, or transformed into atoms of another element. The modern atomic theory says that atom can be divided into a number of subatomic particles, such as an electron, proton, and neutron. Atoms of the same element are identical in size, shape, and mass. It was later found that atoms of the same elements can have a different mass, as in isotopes of hydrogen, such as protium, deuterium, and tritium. Different elements have different types of atoms. Atoms of different elements can physically mix together or can chemically combine in simple whole number ratios to form compounds. Chemical reactions occur when atoms are separated, joined, or rearranged. Atoms of one element are never changed into atoms of another element as a result of a chemical reaction. Summary: Dalton's atomic theory states that elements are composed of tiny particles called atoms. All atoms of a given element are identical in size and mass. Atoms of one element are different than all other elements.